2 weeks ago, I took a look at my least favorite stars to come out of Super Mario 64. It was a lot of fun trashing on them, but now it's time to get positive and look at my top 10 favorite stars.
Here we go!
This is just a simple and fun level. Basically, you go around the mansion hunting boos like you would in the Luigi's Mansion series, but it is much more basic than that game. There are a handful of boos around the mansion that you quote-unquote kill by ground pounding. Then you face the big boo, who is reused way too much in this game. But at least with this mission, it's the first time you ever see him. After that, you get the star while opening up the rest of the mansion in the process. Number 9 was a toss-up between the big house in the sky and somewhere over the rainbow. But I decided to go with Big House in the Sky because, while it does have an annoying part at the end, at least it doesn't have that super annoying purple bomb thing that throws you off the stage. Anyways, this is a pretty challenging level that tests your platforming skills. It is kinda slow, and having to climb to the top of the stage a second time out of 3 is pretty dumb, but I always enjoyed this level. The furnace is also annoying, but I never found it that bad to dodge. I sure am finding a lot of negatives to this level. Anyways, on to number 8. I found this level surprisingly enjoyable. The first level with Koopa the Quick is memorable, but it's way too easy to get a spot on this list. However, in the rematch, Koopa actually gives you a run for your money. Tiny Huge Island is also much more difficult than Bob-omb Battlefield to traverse through. And also, Tiny Huge Island is actually one of my least favorite worlds in the game, but I'm always happy to race this Koopa when he shows up. Next up is the second Bowser level in the game. I really enjoy the levels in Mario 64 that require a lot of platforming, so the Bowser levels are some of my favorites. This one can be annoying because of the lava, but I always get a lot of enjoyment when going through this level. It also looks really cool and the music fits it nicely. The boss at the end is garbage, but I have so much fun getting to it that I don't care. Out of all of the items in Mario 64, my favorite has to be the Koopa shell. It's so fun to ride around the stage super fast, so no wonder this star made it on my list, even though all you do is shred for red coins, duh. The only thing you really have to worry about are the snowmen, but even then they are pretty difficult to lose your shell to. Sadly, this is one of the only stars in the game that requires the shell item, which is a shame. Peach's Slide, by far the most recognizable level in Mario 64 aside from maybe Bob-omb Battlefield. This star is just a classic. It's super fun, has catchy music, and is straightforward and easy for everyone. The only con would be that it's a little too easy, but there is the 21-second star as well, which can make it a bit more challenging. All in all, this is just a great star to acquire. Now it's time for the first of the Bowser levels. While this one is technically easier than the second one, I prefer it for a couple of reasons. First is the dark atmosphere. This level has a feeling of dread and despair that I really like, and the music fits perfectly with it. And second, while it is easy, it's still a fun platforming level that tests your skills for early in the game. This is also the most memorable level for me personally. I don't know why, but this is one of the first levels I think of when I think of Mario 64. Sure, the Bowser fight is dumb, but I still love the rest of the level. Literally all of the boss fights in Mario 64 are so easy. Maybe with the exception of the final Bowser fight, but that's more just janky. If I had to pick one boss level, however, I'd go with this one. While battling hands is nothing new in video games, this feels like the most unique boss in the game. Maybe because all of the other bosses require you to ground pound on top of them or throw them. The way you access it can be a little cryptic, but there are way more cryptic levels in this game, so I won't put it against this level. And after replaying for footage, the boss actually says some pretty funny dialogue. It's not laugh your ass off funny, but it got a chuckle out of me. Now it's time for the third and final Bowser level. This level really tests your platforming skills, being that it is the final level, and it's really fun. This level gave me a lot of trouble as a kid, but it really isn't the hardest thing in the world. Unless you're going after the red coins blind. Speaking of cryptic, Jesus Christ. The level also has that really cool gloomy aura from the first Bowser level. And did I mention I love the Koopa Road music? And while the final boss has great music as well, Pride Bowser is really lame for a final boss. Big Bob-omb on the Summit. This is a good introduction to the game, and King Bob-omb is pretty sweet. But I'm pretty sure everyone gets the Chain Chomp star first anyways, so I don't really know if it counts as an introduction at that point. Slip sliding away. Like Peach's slide, this one is really fun, but I mostly just use the shortcut so I don't get to experience the slide's true glory. Somewhere over the rainbow. Like I said earlier, I like this star a lot too. It feels very rewarding, and I think it's a very appropriate star to end the game with the exception of the Bowser level. Just don't mess up at the end. When making this list, I had no clue what would end up being my favorite star in the game. While it was easy for me to make a list of bad stars, I never really thought about my favorites, but I was delightfully surprised when this one ended up being number 1. It's another fun slide, but it can provide some challenge. It also has a fun background that makes me feel like I'm in a dream for some reason. The only possible negative I can think of is that this is yet another cryptic Mario 64 star, who would have guessed? But that's kind of what I love about this game. It makes you explore every nook and cranny for every star, which helps a lot of the levels stand out as so memorable and fun.